what's up guys? This is Bobo Jones, riding by the beautiful California coast, and if you'll notice, I am not on my Tuono, and if I was on my Tuono here, I'd be arrested within minutes. But instead I'm riding this beastly Magician Alpha, which is an e-bike I just got, and wanted to talk about it within the context of why I bike on an e-bike instead of over there on this road right next to me. You can see here there's cars, and that's the way I would take my motorcycle. But I never take my motorcycle ever. I only e-bike to work. And yeah, I recently upgraded to this Magician Alpha. It's a very, very, very powerful e-bike. It has a 5,000 watt peak rear Bafang hub motor, and it has a Bafang controller, it has a Bafang display, and it has Bafang batteries. And the reason for that is basically I wanted something that had all Bafang because they're a very well-known, well-trusted, e-bike component manufacturer. And I'm coming off of a normal 750 watt rad runner bike. And I live in a very hilly neighborhood, and honestly that bike just didn't have enough power. So I wanted something more powerful so that I could just go up hills easily and not struggle. And also something powerful so that I could actually move at the speed of traffic for the few times that I am on the street. But first I wanted to cover why I use an e-bike versus my motorcycle. And there's lots of reasons. Number one is, yes, obviously I have this insane commute here. And so the whole thing is a protected e-bike path on the beach and then on this wildlife preserve basically called Bologna Creek. And so yes, I have the world's greatest commute, which is fair. But also, it's great to get exercise. And again, I live in California. The fuel is very expensive. The Tuono is horrible on fuel. So I save an insane amount of money on fuel because it would be about $6 a gallon for me. And the commute would probably use not quite a gallon, but almost. Whereas this is basically free to charge. Like maybe I'm paying 20 bucks a month to charge this bike. And then you have to think about maintenance. So I'd be putting not only just miles on my Tuono, but horrible traffic miles on my Tuono, where the engine is constantly below 5,000 RPMs, where it hates to be. I'm using my tires just going in straight lines, so I'm just flattening out my tires so that they'll be shitty on the weekends, and they're very expensive to change. So there's money reasons, there's exercise reasons, there's beauty reasons. And then in terms of time, you might be shocked, but now with this bike, because this bike is so fast, it's basically the same amount of time. When there's traffic on the way to work, like on the motorcycle, it's basically the same amount of time. I can do under 25 minutes on this, and it's about 20 minutes because there's lights and stuff with the motorcycle. So the time is the same amount. I'd spend more money, and I'd get no exercise, and it's just, there's literally no pluses. I hate putting on all my gear. I can put just a basket on this thing and put my backpack in it, whereas on the motorcycle, it's a whole to-do. I have to put it in the rear thing. I have to put something on the rear seat. So there's literally no benefit in any sense to commuting on the Aprilia, and the Aprilia hates commuting because it's not meant to be tootling around at 20 miles an hour, right? The bike absolutely hates that. So I got this thing which absolutely rips. I'll show you a little. This is throttle only. And yeah, this thing is just such a pleasure to ride. It's super stable. It can go up to 50 miles an hour, although I don't do that because I have a Tuono for going fast. But it is nice. I ride it basically like a level 3 on the bike path. You know, I'm not like a friggin' asshole. I'm not trying to pass bikers at, 50, 40 miles an hour. So I'm riding it mostly, like basically like a level 3 bike at around 30 miles an hour, 28 to 30 miles an hour. And that's it. Again, my old bike was 750 watts nominal, so this is 4 times as powerful. But this bike is also twice as heavy, which we'll get into in some of the pros and cons. And yeah, I bought this bike again because it's just a Bafang bike through and through. It's 100% Bafang, all the components that matter, and so it's like a super trusted company. Yeah, and it's just a pleasure to ride. But it does feel, because of the weight, much more like a motorcycle than a bicycle. You can hear the loud squeaky brakes there. So I'll do a quick walk around. I got spider webs on it. And I'll show you a little bit about it and what I've upgraded. And so one of the other reasons I picked this bike up is because their distribution center is here in California. And the downside of this bike is that they charge $350 for shipping. But if you live in California, you can get the shipping for free, which saves you $350. And then you can also, I contacted them and they gave me a promo code that you can use, so that'll save you another $100. And I figured out a crazy trick that'll save you on top of all that, so you're already at saving $500. Another trick that can save you another couple $100. So if you're planning on picking this up locally in California in their Ontario warehouse, hit me up and I can tell you another trick and save you another $200-300 on it. So then at that point, oops, I got something stuck on this. At that point, you're saving $600-700 on it, and then it becomes like the greatest value e-bike in the history of mankind. So how much is it? It's $2,500. It's $2,400 right now, but they just did a bunch of upgrades that I didn't get, which I'm very salty and sad about. They upgraded fully to a canvas system, which basically means all of the components independently, I guess, have chips in them and speak to the controller. So you can see exactly how much each battery has. You can get battery diagnostics from each of the 2 batteries. Speaking of which, this thing has absolutely mammoth batteries. I mean, insane. This one is 1,500 watt hours. This one is, I think, 800 watt hours. So total is 2,400 watt hours of battery. That's literally 3 times as much battery as my last bike had. And those batteries are like $500 each. So you're talking about $1,500 basically worth of batteries in this. They finally got UL certified, so they're UL certified now, the canvas ones. I don't know if mine are on this one. I have the dumb batteries. I do have the canvas display and controller. But yeah, it's just a lot of bike for $2,500. If you live in California, this is basically a no-brainer, and just hit me up in DMs and I can give you that trick for saving a few $100 extra. Sorry, I'm in Airplane Alley right now. There's an airplane there, there's an airplane here. So sorry if the airplane noise is crazy. I don't know why I stopped here, but yeah, it's just a beast. So it's full suspension. I'm not going to go into too much of the technical details. You can watch other reviews about that. But this is more about, why I commute on it. And so yeah, it has this 5,000 watt peak. I don't think it quite hits 5,000 watts, but it's somewhere around, 4,500 watts peak Bafang motor. The only thing I've done for it when I bought it, like upgrades, is the grips it comes with are absolutely disgustingly horrible, thin grips that your hands start falling asleep immediately. So these were $10. For some reason, they charge like $200 for a front basket. I got this one. This is an APOS front basket. It costs $40 on eBay, so you can just get this one. You'll see it everywhere on eBay. It's like all over the place. And then I already had this Hay Bike like sort of pannier setup, and I like that it also sort of covers the battery a little bit so that the battery isn't so exposed. And you can see the rear battery here. It comes with 2 chargers, bunch of keys, rear air suspension. Front is not air. I think it's just a spring suspension, but it's pretty good. And so I dialed all this in for me and my weight. And that's basically it. Oh, and the seat it comes with is absolute trash too. So I took the seat from my Rad Runner, which I love, that also has a handle back here, and I put that on it. And so that's the deal. Yeah, again, I would say, like, you know, if you're not in California, then you're going to end up paying somewhere around $3,000 for this bike, even with the sale that's going on right now, and using my promo code, which is MBJ Moto Bobo Jones 100. So use that promo code, and you'll save an extra 100 on top of the sale right now. The only thing that went wrong with this bike so far is one of my brake sensors just was faulty and didn't work, so the throttle wouldn't go, so I have it disconnected right now. They're shipping me one out, although it's been 17 days. They created the label 17 days ago, and they still haven't shipped it out, so I don't know what's going on. They haven't gotten back to me about that. But I'm sure they'll send it out eventually. I think they're just really busy now because they have this sale and all of the upgraded components, which again, I didn't get. I had a very frustrating experience, which is, you know, sort of my fault, but I was also hoping they'd work with me a little bit. Basically, I bought the bike. I had sent them a note because I knew I wanted this bike, because I wanted something in this power range with Bafang motors. Another airplane is coming. And so I knew I wanted this bike. So I hit them up. I said, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Can I get a discount or something, blah, blah, blah. Didn't hear back from them. I was like, oh, fuck it. So I ordered it anyway. I figured out that trick to save a bunch of money. Picked it up. It was great. The warehouse thing was great. Then 3 days later, they get back to me after I had already picked it up. And they say, hey, we'll do it. We'll give you an extra couple $100 off the bike, and you can get a promo code and whatever that you can use. You know, you get a little kickback if somebody uses it. So I said, oh, great, I already picked up the bike. Can you just apply the additional discount I would have gotten? They basically told me to go kick rocks. I was like, why? Just give me the discount as a partial credit on my credit card. No, they told me to kick rocks. Okay, fine. Then it gets even worse, because then the week after that, they had this huge sale, anniversary sale, where they included signals, a horn, and those upgraded canvas batteries that are UL certified now. So then I hit them up again and I said, hey, can I just swap out the batteries and pick up the turn signal kit, since I literally just bought it? I was still in the return window. They said, no, go kick rocks again. I said, okay, can you at least refund me the additional $100 sale that you're having? They told me, no, go kick rocks again. So that's been very frustrating, and you can say that's my fault. I should have waited, which is true, or I should have asked, there's a sale coming up. So, you know, I take that, but it's just frustrating, right? When you buy something and then a week later, you could have saved hundreds more, gotten better things, and they basically told me to kick rocks about everything. So a little bit frustrating. But the bike itself is beautiful. I'm still very happy with it, obviously. I still got a great deal from picking it up. The warehouse staff was great. They basically just forklifted it into my minivan. It was awesome. It didn't take long to build. Everything is super high quality. So it feels much more high quality than my Rad Runner, which I had, which was like a creaky mess. And it feels way higher quality than my hay bike. I have like a hay bike that my kids ride on with like the bench in the back. That thing feels like a Fisher-Price toy compared to this. This frame is super solid. And it's just really nice, but it is super heavy. So the downsides of this are that it's unbelievably heavy. You know, you hear 135 pounds, 140 pounds, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, no, it's so heavy, and I'm very strong. You know, I used to be a personal trainer. I'm 210, 6'2", like very fit. And this thing is just hard. So I'd say, like, if you're older, just be aware you're not going to be able to lift and move this thing around. Like, or if you need to load it into a carrier or something, it's unbelievably, like, shockingly heavy. So just keep that in mind. But, you know, it's fine. I don't have to move it around too much. I have a parking space next to my Tuono in the garage. It does have gears, although I just keep it basically on the sixth gear, like hard gear, because it's so powerful. And then at that point, like, you basically can only pedal with it when it's at, you know, 20% or something like that. Let me see if this comes through. I can show you basically what I do here. So I adjusted it so that the pedal assist modes are much lower than they would otherwise be. So the screen is super nice, first of all. And so what I did basically, how can I get to it? Current limit percentage. Okay, so I think this is how you do it. Okay, so what I did basically is normally it has 20%, 40, 60, 80, 100, but once you're at like 80% or 60%, the motor is too powerful, so you're just like free spinning, even though it does have a torque sensor, which is an amazing upgrade, by the way. It has torque or cadence. So what I did is I basically just lowered these all so that it's 20, 30, 40, 50, and then 100. And that way I can ride it at like, 40 or 50%, and I can still be pedaling because, again, I like getting exercise here, and also I don't want to be flying by people in the bike path at 40, 45 miles an hour. I actually haven't taken this to 50 miles an hour, which is the top speed. I've only gone 40 because, again, I have a motorcycle for that, right? Like, I don't need to be doing that with this. I got this because on the street it's safer when I need to ride with traffic, that I can go quickly, and also it gets up the insane hills that I have, going from the beach up to where I live. There's insane hills, and this is unbelievable. I went from on my old bike like struggling at 10 miles an hour to get up those hills to this thing. I can throttle it and go up at 35 miles an hour just with throttle, no pedal power. And so it's unbelievable. So it just makes it much nicer. And this gets me to and from my commute much faster. So if I only have 30 minutes between meetings, I can get home in this in under 30 minutes now, whereas the other one, it would always be slightly over 30 minutes. So other stuff I did, I just put on my phone mount, my speaker here. I have my GoPro 360 camera that I put on, that I mounted. And then I have my lock here that's on the front. And then this A-Pass thing I bought from eBay for $40, and it still works with this light that they include with it. Again, if you buy this now, you're gonna get a better light with turn signals, you're gonna get a horn, you're gonna get better batteries, and you're gonna get a lower price than me. The rack on this holds 110 pounds, so 50 kilograms, but I just put this rear thing on it. And that's basically it. And the grips. The brakes are good, although again, I don't know, man. It's like this bike is so heavy that you got to be careful. Like, maybe I saw some people were upgrading to like to 6 piston brakes from the 4 piston on these, but they're pretty good. They're definitely pretty good. And yeah, the suspension feels really good. I kind of set everything in the middle. This one I did to my weight, so I did about, I think I'm at 180 or 200 PSI on the rear shock. And you can see, even hitting big bumps, it's got about a third clearance on there. So I think that's the right amount for me. But yeah, that's it. More planes coming in there. I don't know if you can see this one. It's a big cargo plane. I hope you can hear me on this mic, but we'll see what happens. And that's it. Yeah, so again, if you live in the California area, hit me up, shoot me a DM. And again, if you can get this thing for like $2,400, $2,500 out the door, it's an unbelievable bargain, I think. I mean, I think it's like the best value in e-bikes, without a doubt. It's beautiful. The paint finish is great. They're using like metal components on the fenders. And it's just an awesome bike. You can turn on and off the throttle, and you can set this to a level 2. So if you're going somewhere where the cops are sitting, and again, the whole point of this bike is that when you look at it, it looks just like a dad cruiser, right? It does not look like a Sur-Ron or something illegal, even though it is unbelievably powerful. It just looks like a dad bike. I'm wearing like high-vis stuff. Like, I just look like a dad. I'm wearing cargo shorts right now, so nobody's gonna bother you. It's the stealthiest bike ever, but it's super powerful. It comes with a Class 2 sticker. You can put it in Class 2 mode. Up here at Marina Del Rey, there's sometimes motorcycle cops sitting there looking for kids riding Sur-Rons. So if you wanted to, you can quickly switch it to Class 2, which I'll show you how to do. You just go in here, you go boom, boom, boom. Down here, boom, boom. And then Class 2, you're in it, then you're out. You know, you go over, if they check the throttle, if they check anything, it behaves now as a Class 2 bike. It's very easy to do. You can do it in 10 seconds like you just saw me do. But anyway, I'm not riding this thing like an asshole. Like I've said, I'm very respectful. I ride my normal road bike here. I ride with my kids on this bike path, so I'm not trying to be an asshole on this bike. So, you know, I'm not the enemy anyway. And C, it just looks like a dad bike, right? Like it does not look like a Sur-Ron or one of these wacky looking, ugly, you know, cargo bikes. It's just a beautiful, normal looking step through bike that happens to be insanely, insanely powerful. So I think that's it. Hit me up if you have any questions. And again, if you want to buy one of these, whether you're getting it delivered or you live in California, use my promo code or link below, MBJ100, and you'll get an extra $100 off. I get a tiny, tiny commission. And hit me up if you have any questions. I think it's really cool. I think every motorcyclist will enjoy this. And because you ride a motorcycle, you'll be more used to the weight on this thing, which I think will help a lot. So that's it for me. This is Bobo Jones saying, arrivederci. I'm going to go ride this bad boy into the beautiful ocean side. Take it easy, guys.